Get ready for all the highlights of Valley High School football. It's time for Action 4 Sports Sunday Sports Extra.
Hello and welcome to Sunday Sports Extra. I'm Action 4 Sports Director Clay Williams. With me, Action 4 Sports reporter Brendan Fitzgerald. And we join you on the final Sunday Sports Extra of the year as the Valley High School football season came to an end this past Friday, Brendan.
Yeah, it did. Harlingen and San Antonio Madison, the game everyone was talking about, up in Kingsville at Javelina Stadium for the first time since 1989. Harlingen in the region final. You can really break this down to 4 key plays. This one of them, Brian Blake fumbles it on the 12-yard line for Harlingen in the first quarter. Then another turnover deep in Madison territory. Kevin Ledesma, the interception in the end zone. They were down by 2 touchdowns at the half, 28-13. Second half, here was the big 2-play swing in the fourth quarter. Daniel Ibarra almost gets his mitts on a pick 6. There was nobody in front of him to stop him. Dropped the very next play, Justin Jones to Marquise Warford, and a bomb touchdown that made it 42-27. That ended up being the final score, and that was really what the straw that broke the camel's back. Afterwards, it wasn't about mistakes for Manny Gomez. He was proud of his kids.
It's not mistakes, you know. Madison's a good football team. They're big, they're fast. We couldn't get accustomed to the speed of that number 2 in the first half. In the second half, we kind of did. You know, we made some plays, we had opportunities, but it's not about mistakes that we created. It's one of the things that they were just a good football team that made more plays than we had, that we did. But you know, my hat's off to Madison. You build these bonds with these kids, and that's you know, it's like I treat them like they're mine, you know, and it hurts to see these kids, you know, being emotional about what they did, but they got nothing to be proud of, you know, and it's just one of those things that life lessons. You can't win them all, but you know what, they fought to the end. Actually, extremely proud of it, that Cardinal spirit.
So the state playoffs go on without a Valley team for another 2 weeks. Next up, San Antonio Madison, red hot. Winners of 9 of their last 10 will take on Fort Bend Hightower, who an upset win yesterday over Pearland, and that game will be where the Harlingen Cardinals thought they would be. 4 o'clock Saturday, Alamo Dome in San Antonio, and we've had them linked all season since they played back in week 3. Abilene also falls out of the state playoffs as they fall to Mansfield Timberview 32-6 yesterday. So the state playoffs go on without Harlingen, and really it kind of comes down to one guy for Madison. Marquise Warford was incredible. It seemed to me like the Cardinal defense was getting great penetration early in this game. They were getting into the backfield, but they weren't able to stop Warfield from getting extra yardage and getting past the line of scrimmage once they got their hands on it.
Yeah, I'd like to see the number on yards after contact, because this guy was really slippery. I think everyone knew that he was fast and a really good running back and the guy to watch out for, but I don't think they accounted for how slippery he was. It wasn't like he was bowling guys over, a big punishing back, but just when you saw the Cardinals surrounding him, this is the play that I think of here, when they threw it out to the left side and he got away from about 4 or 5 guys and got right down to the 1-yard line. I mean, look at these. Harlingen is known for being a good physical tackling team, and Marquise Warford, time and time again, able to get away from him. It was impressive that they knew he was going to come at him, and he still was able to get away from him.
And then by the time, you know, Harlingen started adjusting to try and cover Warford, then Jones was able to make some big pass plays to Byron Daniels, and that was kind of all she wrote. Meanwhile, on the Harlingen side, it seemed like the big offensive plays for the entire game, you know, a few good plays early on by Brian Blake, but then Madison made some adjustments, and then from there on out, it was all Charlie Powers all the time when it came to big plays.
Yeah, the Cardinals found a way to make their offense go. For the first time, I think, all season, Kevin Ledesma couldn't outrun everybody. You know, when Manny would even tell you, Manny Gomez would tell you, when things weren't going well, they just let Ledesma loose and see what he could gain from the quarterback position. He wasn't really able to outrun this defense. They found the vertical passing game. They utilized Powers' height. I mean, he would just throw it up top and Powers would go up and get it. They figured out a way to move the ball, but San Antonio Madison kind of adjusted to that, as we saw later in the game.
Absolutely, they did. And Daniel, Randy Bermea tried to get open several times, wasn't able to a couple of times. Meanwhile, like you said, Ledesma going up to Powers, but 2 end zone interceptions, one at the end of the first half, one at towards the end of the game. I mean, that could have made a huge change. You talked about it in your first video in this game.
Yeah, this turnover, if they could have got a touchdown right before the half, the Cardinals got the ball in the second half. They scored first in the third quarter. you know, you're talking about an entirely different ball game. This kind of with a minute left, down 2 scores. But you look at that first one, and really a good adjustment by San Antonio Madison. You saw it from the, I was watching it on the field level, that number 17 for the Mavericks. They kind of just rolled over the safeties. They figured, all right, if they're going to go to powers, which they hadn't done a ton of on plays like this all season long, they figured out a way to stop it. And, you know, Madison made some good adjustments.
That was Muller for San Antonio Madison, who came up with some huge plays, not only getting both interceptions in the end zone for Madison, but also chasing down both Brian Blake and Charlie Powers on a couple of would-be touchdowns. A couple of them ended up being scores anyway, but the kid was everywhere for Madison in this game.
Yeah, and it was one of those things where Harlingen, you know, faced against athletes like this probably for the first time this season. And it wasn't that they were getting blown away. It wasn't that they were not strong enough, not fast enough. They just had to play a mistake-free game. And they didn't really do that. Madison played a mistake-free game. They didn't turn the ball over. They forced turnovers when they could, and they made things happen. Harlingen just needed to make those plays when they got the chance to, and they weren't quite able to do it.
What they did have was a huge home field advantage at Texas A&M Kingsville. We called it the running of the Bulls whenever they opened up the gates at 4:30, and about 12,000 strong Harlingen fans and fans from around the valley, as you saw the sign there that said La Jolla supports the Cardinals, came into the game. A sea of red overtook Javelina Stadium, Brennan. It was impressive.
It was fun right from the pregame, right from before the pregame, 3 hours before the pregame started. The bleachers were filled with Cardinal fans. They really came out. They got loud. They were making noise on defense. It was like a college-style atmosphere when, you know, it wasn't just some chants and let's get loud on third down. They were loud the whole game, and they were helping their team out.
Yeah, and even when Harlingen was down 2 scores with only about 5 minutes to play, and I saw some people leaving for the exits, I noticed none of the people leaving for the exits were wearing red.
Yeah.
None of them were wearing red and black. These were people who were just casual fans who wanted to see what the big game was about, trying to get out early, but there was no getting out early from this game. It was a big one.
Yeah, and there was a traffic jam like a college game, too. I don't know.
That's right.
They were lined up around the corner in all gates before the start of the game.
And cutting 77 down to 1 lane back north of Raymondville didn't help anything either. But so that was it, the last game of the season for the Rio Grande Valley. But we're not done talking about football. When we come back on Sunday Sports Extra, we're going to talk about who was the best of the year, who was the Valley MVP, who was the coach of the year, what were the top games that we got to see. This was definitely one of them that you're looking at now. Plus, yeah, coaches of the year, he's definitely one of the big candidates. We'll talk about it when we come back on Sunday Sports Extra.